Hi, I'm Brian Rose.
I'm Michael Mcpherson.
And welcome to the Lion's Den.
Good stuff. We've got something. We always feel uncomfortable doing that intro, don't we? I don't know why. It is hot, mate. It is hot. By the time this goes out, it'll probably be freezing cold now in the British weather. And everyone's like, why are they sweating and wearing shorts and
Pissing
stuff?
it down outside.
It's like 32 degrees at the moment. It's probably about 62 in the Lion's Den. Brian won't pay for air conditioning. He's cheap really like that.
Mate, it's because you're in the ring with me. You're feeling the heat.
Mate,
you feel the heat. You're under pressure.
I am. Immense pressure. We've got a great show coming up today. We're going to be chatting to Sunny Edwards, Showtime Sunny Edwards, a world champion now. Brian's got him on again, like always, working his magic. Said it before, there's a future for him as an agent. He's taking my job now. I'm not going to box. It's not going to be like a wife swap type thing. He's just going to take my job.
Yeah, it'll be a good chat because he's really knowledgeable. He knows his stuff about boxing. He's got a great background. Obviously, his brother's Charlie Edwards, so it'll be a great chat with him.
Yeah, definitely. But before we go on to that, mate, we've had some big news for you come out. Will be last week now. Sergio Martinez, great fight coming up. I know on a personal level, it needed to be a fight for you that was exciting, that got that fire in your belly going, that turned up the heat, so we'd all be boiling here. And I think it's done that. Do you feel really inspired for this one?
Yeah, well, I've said to you personally a few times. I said, if nothing happens over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to call it a day. And to be fair, I owe you a thank you.
Oh, cheers, mate. It's about time.
You've been saying, just keep training and something will come up. And never in my life did I expect to be fighting Sergio Martinez. So I've sat in this podcast a few times, a bit down, putting on a smile. But you know what? I'm actually sat here now, absolutely over the moon. I'm fighting Sergio Martinez next because he's a legend. Two-weight world champion. He was best pound for pound at one point. I just believe things happen for a reason, and this has happened because I'm going to go over there, I'm going to win, and then I'm going to go on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, no, I 100% believe that. We have a real honesty with each other, and I've always said, repeating myself, it had to be the right fight. Because my biggest fear for you was not being inspired by something, taking the wrong thing, going there and not being 100% and not getting the result. But I've seen you training, I've seen you start camp, and I've just seen your attitude, and I 100% believe you're going to do it. And funny enough, I'm giving real behind the scenes stuff here. We were just sitting having a cup of tea with Brian's mum before we started. And she was saying that she'd never seen him happier. He's been coming around, dropping the kids around, dropping them off, and he's been a bit moping around. And she said he's coming this week, saying, "Mum, I've got a fight coming up," and he's all chirpy like a kid again.
I bet they're not happy though, because they both want me to retire. My mum and dad both want me to retire.
I'm saying nothing on that. I'm saying
every time I go around,
confidential.
My dad's like, "Come on, son, retire." Just it doesn't help for my confidence. So I'm gonna have to stop going around there.
Who's going to look after the kids? If you do that?
No, yeah, I have to pretend.
I just want to ask you, what are you going to do differently now? You're 36. We always give you a hard time. We're not going to hide that. What are you going to do in this camp that is going to get you back to your very, very best? What is the things that are going to make that happen?
Well, not many people know. I've took on a running coach because listen, it's no secret that I find it hard getting motivated to run. Maybe it's just years of miles and pounding the roads. I just don't like it, but most boxers don't. So I've took on a running coach, and I just believe that's going to get me out, and it's going to take me to a new level of fitness. Yep. I've got a strength and conditioner. All this is costly, so I'm going above and beyond to win this fight. I'm doing things that I did 10 years ago, and that's what I need to do. But the reason this fight's so interesting is because, his achievements are way more than me. There's no doubt about that, but he's 46, but I'm 36, It's not like I'm a young lad, 28 in my prime, fighting a 46-year-old. Some people could say I'm over the edge. Some people could certainly say he's over the edge. That's why the fight's so interesting. That's why, the negatives out there saying, "Oh yeah, you two old guys going at it." It's not. We're going to see how much each of us has got left. I watched Sergio Martinez the other day, and in glimpses, he's got glimpses of greatness. When he throws his hands, he's unbelievable. But for me, as he's backing off, he's getting clipped with shots. So, and this is off a guy from Finland who's a journeyman. For me, if he makes them mistakes with someone like me, he's
going to get punished.
Yeah, he's going to get punished. He can't make them mistakes.
No, I'll happily go on record saying this, and no disrespect to Sergio Martinez. I think if you go there and you proper step on him like you can, and you're not hesitant, and you just go out there and proper, put it on the line, I think you could seriously hurt him from watching his last couple of fights. And I really believe that. I think for you, it is all about going out there, not starting slow, not weary, just completely believing in all your training, your talent, and all the things that come before. And I think you'll finish him. And I think it's going to be a great night. I hope we can get over. Well, you'll definitely be there, because I hope you'll definitely be there. But I'm hoping to get there. I'm hoping to get there too. It'll be a great night in Madrid. Really good fight, and we're going to get that one done, and we're going to move on to even bigger things, mate.
Yeah, I just want to say as well, if they're probably going off the fight that I had in Spain, where I was a stone overweight and very unfit. I took that fight at 4 weeks' notice. So I need to be careful. I'm not watching them videos, the video footage of him in 2020, and he might come back stronger, fitter than he's ever been. So I'm certainly not looking past it. How can I? He's a legend, and I've got so much respect for him giving me the opportunity. Yeah. So, but I am going to go over there, and I am going to win.
100%, mate. I believe that, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, me neither.
Let's get Sunny Edwards on, right?
Yeah. Hiya, Sunny. How are you, mate?
Yeah, all good.
Welcome to the Lions Den.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, all good, thank you.
Oh, good stuff. What's the kit you got on? Is that the old John Barnes Liverpool one? Or is that United?
Nah, it's the old classic Holland kit.
Holland, yeah. I thought it was
that. Old classic,
Yeah,
classic one, a throwback.
Yeah, because I thought maybe having poor equipment like we've got, I thought maybe our colour on the screen was a bit out, and it was like a faded red.
No way.
Good stuff, mate.
You're forgiven then.
That's it. You see how I got out of that one? It was just a bad call, and I was trying to make excuses for it. I know you've got your co-host in the background there, your dog as well. So I'm just explaining to the listeners, if you can hear barking, it's fine. Everyone's okay.
Don't.
We're all dog
I'm
lovers.
I'm in his little zone at the moment. My other dog's in season C, so I've had to keep him separated, and he's not having it too much. So,
I want to ask the first question. What does it feel like to be world champion?
Do you know what? People keep telling me it's going to sink in. That's why I keep hearing it's going to sink in. But I've always thought that eventually I was destined, to get to world level. So I just thought, when I had my opportunity, it was just I'm here now. I kind of thought, sounds crazy, but I kind of thought I'm a world champion from when the fight got made. And that was my mentality going into it. I didn't think for a second that there was any other option. Do you know what I mean? It would have come for a big shock for me. So now I've got it. My eyes have just been straight onto what's in front of me. Winning it is great, obviously, but I want to be a great champion. I want to be recognised as a good reign. And so I've been in the gym pretty much. I think I had a week off. I've just been back on it, just walking my dogs, feeding my kids, and each day comes. You know what I mean?
Oh, good stuff. And I want to take you back to the start of that journey. And your brother has obviously had his great career. You've went on and followed. Did you come from a tough family? Was boxing kind of predetermined for you? Was it a tough place you come from?
No, not really. I think when my brother, we're the first ones in boxing. We're the first ones from our family in boxing. And I think my brother, when he was get to secondary school, there was, he was putting on a little bit of weight. He was getting a bit more conscious with it, and he just decided that he wanted to do boxing. So we sort of just found ourselves there, and our dad had us taking it quite serious compared to probably our age mates from an early age, and we just pushed on from there, to be honest. But no, it's not like in our blood per se. So for me and Charlie to come out of nowhere and both become world champions, it's probably been a surprise for everyone in the family, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. When did you realise you were good, that you had a real talent for it, and start having aspirations to? You said before, when the fight got called, you knew you were going to be a world champion. When did those aspirations start coming into play?
I don't know really, because I just always wanted to be I'm competitive, so I weren't really thinking too far into the future for a long time. It weren't until, I think my brother started, being on GB, and I was getting a bit older, and, you want your own money and stuff like that. It was only sort of when them things that I started really thinking now how far I can take this. And there was a time when I was 14, 15 that I did take about 7 months out of boxing. Fell out of love with it. Didn't want to do it no more. Was just doing what kids do. Being a little shit, to be honest. And it made me realise that you know, how much I enjoyed and wanted to do boxing. And I was seeing my brother, who was still doing it at the time, go smash it. I think he won like the senior ABAs or something similar. And I don't know, it just made me want to do it. Like, it spurred me on. And then obviously I took it back up. And then I had all my success from that point onwards. When before that, I didn't really have the most success. I was always getting to like national finals. I was one of them kids, you know, every year I was up there, but I never won anything. And then after that period, 2-3 months later, back in the gym, I won my first title. And from then, I just never looked back.
That was going to be my question. Did your brother inspire you? He must have inspired you massively. So I know you've had wars with your brother sparring. What were them sparring sessions like? Did you always look up to him, or?
Of course, because he was always very successful, especially in the amateurs early on. So my brother's had a great career up to this point. You know what I mean? He has. But as the amateurs, he was that kid that always just was successful. I mean, 14, he was a European gold medalist, schoolboy. Then he was, you know, European silver medalist as a senior, first time asking, and ABA champion. He won everything, to be honest. And he was on Team GB from 15. So I always had like a high bar set in house. You know what I mean? So even when I weren't really hitting it, I just always thought I'd get there. And then I didn't mind sort of taking the slightly longer route, not having as good of a GB background or having the pro, you know, all lights, all eyes on me, because I saw the pros and cons for everything. Do you know what I mean? I enjoyed that. I've spent 8 years now in the gym, pretty much 7-8 years with my coach now, Grant Smith. And we've built like a genuine bond, a genuine like relationship where, say if I was like my brother on GB for 6 years, you kind of make your GB coaches your coaches to a certain degree when you're up there full time. So, I mean, there's pros and cons for everything. And I think I've managed to sort of maneuver myself through the ranks. And obviously now I'm on world champion, so it's worked out in the long run.
Class, well done, mate.
Yeah, great stuff. And outside of your brother, who's obviously a great person to look up to and the perfect example, really, was there any other fighters when you were younger that you thought, like, I quite fancy myself like them? Because I always wonder this, I always think about this with boxers. Most kids, when they're talking about football and sports, they go like, you know, for me, I want to be like Thierry Henry, I want to be like Tiger Woods. I'm going to mimic that when I go on the golf course or go and kick a football round. When you were growing up, was there a fighter that you looked up to and thought, I'm going to try that style, or were you just you always?
When I was younger, it was Bradley Skeet. He got to the ABA finals, boxed Ronnie Heffron, I can remember it, and he lost. But he was like, you know, like, it was a big deal in the gym, do you know what I mean? So he was the person I looked up to, people like that. And then Rigondo, someone I've always studied and really, really admired his style. And, you know, I think he was as close to a perfect fighter at times as there has been. But I don't think we even saw the best of his years for too long in the pros, if that makes sense. But yeah, he's always probably been my go-to when people ask who I like. Is, you know, so spiteful, so relaxed and composed and efficient. Is a great fighter to watch and study, I think.
100%. And then we'll jump forward where your attention does go to the pro games. And you had your pro debut in Estepona. How did you stay out of the bars over there? How did you keep yourself out of trouble? You're a bit of a lad, I take it. I mean, how did you keep out the Portal Banús and stay focused on that fight?
No, because, you know, as soon as I've got a fight date, I become so boring. No one really hears from me. No one sees me. I go to the gym, I do my responsibilities, and I come home and this one I'm on the phone all the time when I'm in camp, because I'll be sat on my bed for like 8 hours waiting for the next day. So when I first moved over there, I was just turning pro as well. So my motivation was at an all-time high. It was like your debut, you're training for like it's your world title fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, genuinely, like, it's got a different edge to it. Do you know what I mean? So,
was you nervous your first pro day? I was shitting myself, mate. I remember just thinking, I'm only a boy. You know, I'm only 20. And I can imagine you looked about 12 then, because you still look young now.
And do you know what? I fought a lad, well, I say a lad, he was, I think, a 40-something-year-old man. But he was one of them tough ones that don't get stopped, do you know what I mean? And for my first 8 fights, he was probably one of my harder fights, you know what I mean? I'll be honest. But all I've ever done since 9 years old is being in the ring with people. I mean, I've always been a sparrer. I've always been a fighter. I mean, fight last minute notice. I mean, I once took an amateur fight at 3 o'clock. I got a text from my dad just before I was finishing school. I went and boxed somewhere up London. So in the city. Instead of going training, I went and fought. You know what I mean? That's what I was on from a young age. So I never get in the ring and feel out of place. So I just don't think I've got too many experiences where that's actually happened to me. Like genuinely, I don't. I think I'm good at, if anything, if I feel like I'm up against it a bit, maybe they're a bit too big, whatever, or I know how to negate things, and I know how to take it slow and make the space and sort of just pick score. And then when you get into that rhythm, usually that style that you're struggling against can't beat that style. So you just sit in that style and just stay in it. Do you know what I mean? And when I've got someone in front of me, I feel like I can punch holes through. You see me back people up and punch holes through, you know what I mean? But because I just go in there and do what I feel like I'm always just doing what I have to do. I don't stress too much. I think if I wanted to go out there and knock out people, I'd be very disappointed getting out of the ring all the time. So I don't knock out no one, do you know what I mean? So
I've got the same problem.
I just get in there and box and win. I like winning. I like winning more than I like looking good. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know.
You do look good when you win, though, and you can certainly see in the way you fight and your style that there isn't any nerves. You're so relaxed and you rely on them reflexes so good, and it's not something that I've never had that. You know, I've got a tight defence and never been able to, I've not moved my head enough. That's why I've got a nose like this. But you're so relaxed in there, mate, and I proper appreciate your style. It's class. No,
and I appreciate you. And you know what? On the other side of things, I'll watch a fighter like you that has wars that you can go back and watch 100,000 times, and I admire fighters like you, like genuinely, because I get caught with one shot and it's give me 15 seconds, I'm recovering. You're not hitting me again. You know what I mean? 1 second. Let me reevaluate this. This ain't working. You know what I mean? Like genuinely, that's my thinking, and it's crazy. But
I do wish I'd had your style rather than mine, though.
I don't know. See, there's pros and cons. If I could punch, maybe I would start sitting in the pocket.
A bit of both.
I'll just, do you know what I mean? Maybe a bit of both. Maybe a bit of both.
I've got to go back there. I just love the fact this is like a boxer's mindset that other people just don't have. Like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you get a text. Do you fancy a fight tonight? Yeah, all right then. Whereabouts? I'll be there. Like most people, it's like, do you fancy a pint, game of golf? Yeah, go to the pictures.
Well, he just said he went there instead of going to the gym. It's class.
Yeah. So to be fair, I was 15.
Yeah.
14, 15. So I was young. So I was at school. But I think I played rugby that day as well. So I used to do rugby. Athletics, cross country, football, cricket. I'm just competitive. So like, I would rather go into something when there's a winner and loser than go and participate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I'm just mad competitive. Even if I lose, I'm a good loser. I think I can lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can lose. I don't mind. I hate losing, but I can lose. You know what I mean? I know that it's not the end. You know what I mean? But
well, luckily, that's something you've not had to do yet in the pro boxing game. And we could jump forward to that world title fight against Mcpherson, and you was an outsider there. How did that feel going into it, being an outsider? Was you a bit like, why am I the outsider? I know I'm going to win this. You know, he was 13 years a champion, I believe, and no one had knocked him off his perch and stuff. So, what was your mindset going into it?
I'm logical. So, me making that fight, I thought I thought I was going to be 4-1, 5-1 underdog. I thought everyone was going to be eating good for a while. Do you know what I mean? I genuinely thought it was going to be much like me, massive outsider. But to be fair, it weren't too far off evens by the end. It wasn't. So a lot of people did probably sway towards Mcpherson knockout. And why wouldn't you? I mean, the man's a monster. 41 fights, 39 wins, 26 knockouts as a flyweight. That has been one of the most heavily avoided world champions of, especially in the lower weights, you know what I mean? No unification fights. No one wants to fight him. And he goes to any country around the world. So I expected me to be a massive underdog. But I always knew that I could do what I could at what level. Like, because, again, going back to it, I probably get that confidence where I'm boxing. It looks like I'm enjoying myself and not nervous, because I've been boxing 16 years, coming on 17 years. And I can't really remember any times when I felt inferior to anyone in the ring. Do you know what I mean? If it's close, it's close. That's one thing. But I'm never getting dominated. I'm never getting bashed up. Do you know what I mean? So I don't have that in the back of my mind as a possibility.
Yeah, you can see that so much though. There's like, you watching that fight, it was just like a masterclass, and it just looked like someone who's so in control, so confident. Whatever you've got, I can take, and I can give better. I can adapt, and it was such a deserved performance. I don't think it could have been any doubt from anyone. Which usually when you beat like a long-standing world champion, especially one like you say who's had free reign, there's always someone who might say, "Oh, it was close," or it could have been called. It was literally such a convincing performance. So superb stuff, mate.
I appreciate it. Sorry, my other dog's going off.
It sounds like everyone's cheering you there as well. I felt like everyone's going, "What a great question, well done." Brian, I know that you've got to go. You've got limited time. You're off out, and I appreciate you giving us the time. You wanted to answer me about what's next.
Do you have plans to move up the weights when you've accomplished everything at the weight that you're at now?
I think I definitely can. I think there'll definitely be times, because with me, I'll be genuinely honest. Like, I was boxing at super flyweight for a long time, and I was never a super flyer. And I was boxing legit fighters coming down from bantamweight title fight winners. You know what I mean? And I never had the issue of being a smaller person, and I don't think I ever will, because it kind of works in my favor to a certain degree. And if I'm confident in winning a fight, and to be fair, my confidence does go up a few weights, I think you'll probably end up seeing me in some mad fights that you weren't expecting. Do you know what I mean? Like, genuinely, like,
Golovkin.
If I thought I could beat someone at like super bantamweight and got offered decent money, I'm going. Do you know what I mean? I got up to like, I can walk around at 64, 67 kilos at times. I have done that. So, I mean, give me the time to try and be as good and strong as I can at that weight, and we'll go. We
were talking before, and we said he was outside for the world title and stuff, and I said, this kid has got so much self-belief. In his head, he would have thought, I've won the fight already, and that's how we're talking to you now. I knew how you'd be. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got so much self-belief, and that's what you need to make it to the top.
I just think life's too short to have all them doubts and think you can't, or get told you can't and believe it. It's just, it doesn't matter. Nothing we do matters in the end. People can think good about me now, or think bad about me if I ever go on to lose, or it doesn't really bother me too much. So I think I can jump in with the best in the world, and now I've kind of proved it to a certain degree. But you know, in this boxing game, every 3 months you got to prove it again. Every 4 months you got to prove it again, because the next time someone else wins that's nearly ranked and looks good doing it, they're better than you now. Do you know what I mean? And that's why we love it. Do you know what I mean? It's like a drug to get addicted to, and success in boxing is a crazy thing. And Brian, I'm sure you can relate to that. I mean, once you get that momentum, you feel invincible. You want more, do you know what I mean? You want the next person.
Well, I've got that Sergio Martinez fight, and that fire's in my belly again. He's 46, and I just know I can win the fight.
It's a great opportunity. I've seen that come up, so congratulations on that.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, cheers.
Super. Sonny, I've got to say, you've got like a great confidence about you, but it also comes with a real levelness. It's not an arrogance, it's a confidence. And I heard someone say the other day that true self-confidence is knowing that you won't break any promises to yourself. And I feel like you've got that in you. You just got like a natural belief. You'll see it through, but you won't be arrogant. And I think you'll go even further than you've been now, a long, long way in this boxing game, mate. Really do.
Because, you know, I realised I used to make a lot of statements and a lot of claims that people didn't always believe. But then once I started just, you know, explaining a little bit as to why I believe that, do you know what I mean? Like, people can disagree with me if they want, but at least they know my thinking, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I try and get that point across when I do answer these questions.
You're proving it as well. So them things that you're saying, and when people said that, you know, didn't believe you and said, you know, you're talking shit, mate, you've gone out and you've proved them all wrong. Like, you love a row on that social media, don't you?
Like, appreciate you giving us the time. I just want to ask you one question before you go. What is the fight that you want next? Is there one that really excites you?
Well, I've got one. I've got my mandatory before I think about anyone else. So, I'll be there with Jason Mama next. And that's a hard fight to come through. Tomorrow isn't promised. So I'll do whatever I can, get me ready for that, be ready. And I'm sure I'll come out the winner. But like I said, boxing's boxing. And then, you know, I want the number one in the division. I had that last time. Well, what I thought was the number one. He was the number one when I was in the ring with him. And then I beat him. And then now there's another new number one. That's not me. I don't know how that works. But there is. And
you can't have that, mate. You need to make that right.
Yeah, that's Martinez. I'm number two. I don't mind that. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm new. Do you know what I mean? So I don't mind jumping all the way to number two. So they couldn't give me number one straight off. I understand that. Got to be something else to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Otherwise, my head would have been way too big. My head would have been way too big if they gave me number one.
Mate, it's great to have you on.
Yeah, Sonny, thanks so much for coming on. We definitely need to have him back on for a longer chat, because your knowledge on boxing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Whenever. You know, I love talking boxing, especially when it's people I've looked up to and watched and seen. Do you know what I mean? It's a no-brainer. So when you messaged me, what was it, yesterday?
Yeah.
Messaged me a couple of days ago.
It was a last-minute thing. Yeah, I really appreciate the message back as well. And
no. But what I'm saying is, it was a no-brainer. It went, I'll get back to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anytime, shout me.
And I want to say a huge thank you to your dogs as well, because I feel like they've stole the show.
Yeah. They've had a bit to say.
And now see how it's wrapping up now. She is sleeping and he's out there just chewing on a bone. Like, he's fine now. Do you know what I mean? But
no, we've enjoyed it.
Thanks, Sonny.
Cheers, Sonny. Thanks, mate.
Nah, thank you for having me on.
Thanks cheers, mate.
Pleasure.
See you later, pal.
Pleasure, pal.
Bye.
I enjoyed that, mate. Proper good guy, isn't he? Just proper, like, bubbly. Like I said on there, he's got that level of self-confidence without it being arrogant. Like, I believe him.
Yeah, as I said before, he's so knowledgeable as well. We need to get him back on for a bit longer. He could probably do 3-4 hours on there with us.
Yeah, you know what? We should tell the truth behind this, actually. Like, I said that as if we don't always tell the truth. We do, but like, he was set to come on, and then he messaged us earlier on saying that he actually had a commitment tonight and he couldn't do it. We didn't see that message. Brian didn't see that message.
I knew he was going to blame me. So it's only my fault.
Yeah, we didn't see that message, and all of a sudden we're about to record 5 minutes out, and we see the message saying, "I'm sorry, lads. Can we do tomorrow or next week? I've got this commitment and stuff." So we explained to him that we'd all set up, and I travelled over, and we had the team of guys here, helping us out. And he literally said, "Oh, no worries. I'll stop my plans. I'll come back in and I'll come on." So absolutely respect him for doing that.
Proper good guy.
Proper good bloke, and a career that's only going to go up and up and up. And I look forward to watching it.
Yeah, definitely.
So guys, we've got some great episodes coming up, and then in the next few weeks, like I said today on our Instagram story, Brian's getting some seriously good people confirmed. We're pushing on with this. Like we've always said, we love doing it, and we hope you're enjoying it too.
Yeah, thanks for the support, guys. As always, follow, like, share. Like I said, we've got the likes of Martin Murray, Jazza Dickens.
We've got loads, mate, haven't we? Joe Cordina's coming
Joe
on.
Cordina, Michael Conlon. There's so many coming on. I hope I've not missed any out, but I probably have. But yeah, we've got loads of guests coming on, so stay tuned and keep your eyes peeled.
Right, I'm off to take Brian running just to get him into shape for his fight. Let's do it. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.